Oh, what a chase by the Lucknow Super Giants. How the fortunes turned in this game. They needed 108 of the last 8 overs. They needed 69 of the last 5 on a surface that we felt was still helping the bowlers somewhat. Then came the over from Abhishek Sharma after the timeout, and it was never the same again. They managed 31 in that over, and then Nicholas Pooran, part of the Sunrisers last year, picked up for more than 60% of the amount by the Lucknow this year, and he returns to Hyderabad and shows that he's worth every penny in a cameo that just blew the Sunrisers away and have potentially blown them out of the water in the race for the playoffs as well. It's not all over, but you think Lucknow now are a team that are supercharged. We look back at that game, at its moments and decision making from the Sunrisers and how it possibly has cost them a chance for the playoffs. On Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Time out. Ian Bishop and Amol Muzumdar. I will go to Amol first because he predicted a Lucknow chase. I don't know if he predicted it in that fashion because it did not look like that game was in Lucknow's control. Maybe they'll tell you different now, but it looked like that game was Sunrisers until the Abhishek Sharma over. Amol, what happened there?
I think miscalculation. A clear. Sometimes, you know, when you're leading on the ground, you just take those instinctive decisions. He had couple of overs from Natarajan, Farooqi, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and he had 1 over of Markande left. It was a tough call, I feel, on the 16th over to turn to a young Abhishek Sharma who does part-time bowling. He took that call. I think it was an instinctive call, and you know, he wouldn't have expected a 31 run over. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah,
at 69 of 30, Bish, you feel like there are 2 situations here. One, does he go to his best bowlers and then hope whoever he has to get that 20th over out of, he can figure that later, or he takes a call like Amol says between the options that he had, and somewhere he felt like Abhishek Sharma had a better day out than Markande. Firstly, would you have liked to see him go the other way? And it was also curious that this came right after a timeout, so clearly there would have been some chat about how to use that 1 extra over.
Yeah, and with hindsight, I would have gone Natarajan. Farooqi and Bhuvi had 1 left, I think, at that point, so you want them deeper down in the innings. But it wasn't a particularly great over either. It was always right up there where you could, I don't know if he was trying to get it under the bat, but kind of started steamrolling slightly before that too. I mean, that was a big over, but over number 13,
there were 2 14-run overs back to back.
14, 11, 31, and then 14 again. So it was building, but that 31-run over was good hitting, not great execution. Yeah,
you mentioned the point at halftime, Amol, that while there are spin options, that perhaps you're worried about the overall quality of the Sunrisers spin. Now, just taking you through that over. He's been given that over. Even if he goes for 15, 16, the game is in the balance. Once he's gone for 31, I guess it just changed completely. He started over the wicket to Stoinis, and then he's tried to bowl to Nicholas Pooran, a lot of sort of those balls. I don't know how much Abhishek Sharma has bowled those balls, but we have seen left-arm spinners, you know, through Ravindra Jadeja or others, just fancy themselves against left-arm spinner. What would you have liked to see him bowl now that he had that over, and if he manages to, after the Stoinis wicket, keep it quiet, that still keeps Hyderabad in the game. So what did Abhishek get wrong there as a bowler?
I think he was slower in the air to start with. Yes, it was effective at the start of the innings where they tried to bowl slower in the air and got some purchase like Markande. If you see his complete spell, he tried to bowl a little bit slower in the air. Same goes with Abhishek Sharma. He was hit couple of times over covers on the back foot by Prerak Mankad. So he was trying to bowl a little slower, but if he could take a cue of how Krunal Pandya bowled on this surface, it was a little quicker, heavy ball in the surface. Even Glenn Phillips, he bowled a couple of overs for just 10 runs. He bowled a lot quicker in the air. You had to go a little heavy, and I think Abhishek Sharma got it completely wrong. But just talking from Lucknow Super Giants perspective, Raunak, it was just amazing calculation, first of all. They knew that they had 1 over left of spin where they could take toll off. They just targeted Abhishek Sharma and just the audacity, the audacity to go after him from ball 1 by Nicholas Pooran and by Stoinis.
Yeah, I'm going to come to the Lucknow point because yes, they've won this and the Pooran innings deserves a special chat. But it did seem like this was a game the Sunrisers had in control and one that then sort of very suddenly slipped away from them. So we'll come to that in just a moment, but as I just wrap up the chat on the Sunrise, from the Sunrisers' point of view, Bish, could that over have been dealt with differently, where you don't have the situation where one of your last 5 goes to Abhishek? Glenn Phillips bowled 2 very tidy overs, and I guess at this point we also go back to the use of their impact sub. It's supposed to give you more bowling potency or more of an option. They've left people like Kartik Tyagi, Umran Malik all out of the team, and they got in someone who clearly the captain didn't have the confidence to bowl.
Yeah, that's puzzling. Because at one point I had to Google it to find out what he does late in the piece there to work out why Abhishek was the one chosen there. Yeah. So just watching the coach's reaction 2/3 of the way through the over as well, I'd love to get his thoughts, because clearly he wasn't in agreement with anything. But again, the length, I still don't understand. And we talked about matchups, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Stoinis started it. But Pooran is always, if you talk to Nicholas Pooran, he'll tell you, leg spin or left arm spin, anything in my zone, ball 1 or ball 50, I'm gone. And that was a matchup. We often, remember last time we sat here, I said, don't be afraid to bowl the left arm spinner to the left-handed batter.
Yeah.
Pooran seized on it tonight.
All right. Yep, fair enough. Let's talk about Nicholas Pooran, shall we? Because there would still have been teams, and we've seen teams sort of mess up those chases or not quite nail it. There was no doubt once Pooran started hitting as to who was going to end up on the right side of this result. 44 of 13. And Bish, it's not the first time we've seen it this season. So clearly this year Nicholas Pooran has warmed up to a new franchise quickly. He's understood his role. And that's, again, 2 points that he can almost claim that he got almost on his own. But something about Pooran in that role has worked and worked wonders this year.
Yeah, he doesn't have to think, because for a long time, for several years, and he's confessed to it, he's been trying to find a way to bat through overs, take it deep, and then finish games. He didn't do it as often as he would have liked. Now he's coming in this finisher's role primarily without having to build up to anything and go from ball 1. And it has seemed to free him up a couple of times this season. He had a little lean patch coming into this game for 2 or 3 games or something like that. But Andy Flower's psychology of just letting him fire from ball 1 seems to be working to the benefit of that team.
Yeah, and I mean, we can criticize Lucknow sometimes, do they leave their big guns too late? But here you have a situation where it shows that Pooran, if he's already got you 2, we can now look at 2 games, Bangalore and this one. Yeah. You normally expect your overseas player to get you 4 points on his own in a season, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got it. I mean, they played their cards really well at the auction, I feel. Yeah. They knew exactly what Nicholas Pooran's role would be, in spite of having Quinton de Kock in the team. So they clearly knew what they were going for, a wicketkeeper batsman. And Nicholas Pooran has turned out to be a complete match winner for them. They've given him that role. Marcus Stoinis comes, does his job right up the order and allows Pooran to finish it off.
I only wish, I'm very happy to have you here, Bish, but I only wish I had Tom here today to just ask him how he or the Sunrisers ownership would be feeling. The season after you release a player, he goes and gets picked up for more money, comes back and smashes it at your ground. There must be some, perhaps bittersweet, or some sort of feeling on that front, whether it motivates a player more when he goes back to a franchise, but it would be hurting the Sunrisers for more than one reason, this, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure. I don't understand the auction dynamics enough to know why players are released and if you're hoping to get them back and why they end up somewhere else. Nicholas would be happy on 2 counts. One, they released him for him to get more money, get a bag, as they call it.
Yes.
So that would make him happy, and then to come back to his previous home and do what he did would be outstanding. I have to admit that from the start of the season, my preference would have been for him to face more overs.
Yes.
But great credit to them that he's won them a couple of games at that role. They've stuck to him with that role.
All goes well for the West Indies as well, this kind of form for Nicholas Pooran. Lots of big ODI cricket coming up. Once
he can convert his IPL form, it doesn't always correlate. But I hope this is a growth and maturity in his game.
Very well. We saw growth and maturity from Prerak Mankad, didn't we? It was the innings that held it all together. We were blown away by Marcus Stoinis and Nicholas Pooran. 7 sixes between them. But they found their anchor, Amol. I know he doesn't like that word, but that's what he's done. He's anchored the innings Very well, 64 of 45 for a player that has had no game time, virtually no game time at all this season. Very good innings at 3.
Yeah, we said that in the mid show that there are a lot of domestic talent that we are seeing. They're growing into their role, and that's one of the major impact of that impact player. What has happened is that you can only play 4 overseas, but that one domestic player who gets the chance either to bowl or bat is showing colors now. Mankad obviously is one of those domestic players who's done well over the years for Saurashtra. He's not a newcomer. He's faced these kind of situations in domestic cricket, but at a higher stage, at a bigger stage like IPL. This is the first time we are seeing, and he's got the temperament to do that.
Does he? I don't think he usually bats 3 though, does he?
No, he does.
Yeah, he's a middle order, lower order. First class certainly bats lower.
If my memory serves me right, I think he bats at 7.
Yeah, so he's a lower order batter.
7 or 8.
I know he certainly bats low for Saurashtra and first class.
But he does the job for them.
Yeah.
He's a very dangerous guy to come in at number 7. Sometimes teams feel that we've got 5 wickets down or 6 wickets down. Here he comes and just changes the course of the game.
Yeah.
He's done that in domestic cricket, and I am happy that he's done that in IPL now.
Now, was that the kind of innings that is made to look better with the explosion we saw from Stoinis and Puram? Then it looks like a masterstroke innings, or is it the kind of innings that almost was putting them in a spot of bother perhaps? Because there was a bother situation at the top. Kyle Mayers had an inexplicable 2 of 14, and Mankad's then perhaps batted an over too long, you think, when you have all these guns in the reserves. How do you look back at that innings now from Mankad?
Given the outcome, you'd have to say he did a role. It's okay if we hypothesize and say, well, if it didn't happen, if Puran and Stoinis didn't play what they did, we'll never know.
Yeah.
We're not privy to the conversations around him and what the advice to him was. So, look, you have to give him credit for doing what he did. I don't think you can take any. It'll be unwise at this point to take anything. There are further games ahead that will determine his suitability.
It vindicates selection though. Deepak Hooda clearly out of form. You get someone else in and takes his chance.
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done to the Super Giants. Now let's see what that does for them on the points table. Remember that one additional point that they picked up in a game that could easily have gone the other way if the Chennai Super Kings had a chance to chase, and Lucknow could come in handy. They are now up to 13. So if they do carry on in that fashion, they could very well find themselves just on the right side of that top 4. So as far as Hyderabad go, that's 11 games with 8 now. They're in the same predicament as Delhi, and the max they will get to is 14. They've got a few tough games as well coming up to the Sunrisers. So we'll save some more chat on that team in time to come, because we'll have enough chance, you think, to dissect the Sunrisers' performance. We'll also hear from, I'm sure, Aidan Markram and his post-match comments. You can catch that on the site. But we'll quickly have a word in for Delhi v Punjab. And if you go back to that points table, you'll see where those two teams are as well. They are still not out of it, Delhi, but they need other results to go their way as well. If they lose today, that's the end. They cannot qualify for the playoffs mathematically or otherwise. So as far as Punjab Kings go, God only knows what to expect when the Punjab Kings show up. They've lost more than they've won. They find themselves in that 10-point lock with the worst net run rate, Amol. I can't help but think they're still a dangerous side as we move our attention to the game at Delhi, where there's another change again for Punjab. Sikandar Raza is back after winning the game for the Super Kings and sitting out. Out goes Bhanuka Rajapaksha. And as far as the rest of the team goes, they will still leave themselves the option of Nathan Ellis when they get to bowl in the second half. Delhi won the toss in their fielding, so still no Kadis or Rabada. Rest of the team was on predictable lines. Amol, quick thoughts? Then Punjab having to bat first and going with that team with Raza back.
I clearly like the fact that Sikandar Raza is back, because I've as you said in the previous chat that your overseas players are supposed to win you 4 points. He has won them the 4 points.
Yeah.
He's won them a game against Chennai Super Kings and another in a run chase where he got a 50. So I'm glad that he's back in the team. But having taking a look at how Punjab have fared in this year, I think it's been a mixed bag. for them.
Yeah.
They've clearly had their problems. Their overseas not coming on time, or some of them are injured. Liam Livingston was injured. Shikhar Dhawan got injured as well.
Yeah.
So they had their problems, but their domestic players have shown a lot of grit and determination.
Yeah, well, they travel well to Punjab. They won at Guwahati, they won at Lucknow. That's the game Amol refers to when Raza was player of the match. They won in Mumbai, they won in Chennai.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've clearly punched above their weight.
That's not bad. And they're away this time at Delhi. Quick word on Punjab. Bish is just typical Punjab things, I guess. I don't know what to make of that. Yeah.
We've been saying that for about 3 years, 3 or 4 years now. So, look, if they put runs on the board, which they clearly have been able to do in the last few games, it should give them a puncher's chance of coming out against a deflated Delhi team who will claim they want to play with more freedom tonight.
All right. As far as Delhi Capitals go, they've made a few changes as well. Didn't quite go for them against the Super Kings. Mukesh Kumar is back. Praveen Dubey is back. Looks like Ripal Patel has missed out. I can still see Aman Khan in there. Manish Pandey will probably come in as the impact sub. I'm just trying to quickly identify who the other player was that has missed out. Kuldeep and Aksar still in that. Right. So that's the team. Lalit Yadav would have gone out as well from the team that played in Chennai. Thoughts on Praveen Dubey's inclusion?
Good one. I feel nice to have that youngster coming into the side. Would love to see him bowl.
Yeah.
And Mukesh Kumar. He's been constant with Delhi Capitals. But the top four, are clearly superb players for Delhi Capitals. Their overseas have done the job, I feel.
Yeah. All right, leg break option of Praveen Dubey for the Capitals. Let's get a quick prediction as that game is already underway. First inning score, Amol at Delhi.
Punjab Kings. Flat pitch at the Arun Jaitley Stadium.
No, don't be sorry.
I think 185.
185 says Amol Muzumdar. Ian Bishop.
175.
Okay, 175. Do we have a favourite going into this game? Delhi are dangerous at home. The hot streak was ended by Chennai, but Punjab or Delhi?
I would like Punjab to win.
Punjab to win.
Same.
Punjab to win. All right. More thoughts from this wonderful duo, Ian Bishop and Amol Muzumdar, at the end of the Punjab innings. Join us then for Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Time Out, and check out the mobile app. It'll have you covered with the latest updates to the points table, the remaining fixtures for each team, and so much more that's on from the world of cricket. So we'll see you at the end of the first innings.